What's up, cool cats and kittens? It is Uncle Mad coming to you live from Murfreesboro, Tennessee on a beautiful Saturday morning. I am down here for the Tennessee State Soccer Association Tennessee State Cup. Big weekend of soccer. Some of our top youth teams in the state converging here to win the coveted state championships. I will be here throughout the day refereeing these matches, making sure all the rules and laws of the game are followed appropriately. But we also have a big day in Tennessee because it is the first Saturday of college football that we have live legalized sports betting. Kind of a nice little capper on the first week of all that being live and legal. And it's actually the perfect Saturday for that to be the case because this is kind of the first Saturday of the college football season that we've got the full slate, the full power of college football back in full force because we got Pac-12 football returning today. Now, before I hit the college football picks, let me just throw this out there. I've got Chelsea -1 in English Premier League action. They're taking on Sheffield United. Feels like a game Chelsea should smash Sheffield, but I'm using my buddy's logic. He bet for Manchester United a couple weeks ago as he hates them. So he was using the logic that if United win, he wins his bet, wins some money. If they lose, he's happy because he hates United. They lose. He's a Chelsea fan. So as a screw you to him, I am betting Chelsea, hoping they win and make me some money. But if they lose and I lose my bet, screw it. Chelsea sucks. I hate them. That's out of the way. Let's look at college football. All right, so like I said, Pac-12 is back today. Hard to get a read on it. Hard to know what to do with the Pac-12 because, they've played 0 games. Who knows how much they've done in practice. As everybody could see from the first couple weeks of the SEC, the first couple weeks of the Big Ten, things were a little wonky all over the place. Games went, all over the grid. One week a team looked like they were the best team in the world. Next week they got smashed. So I don't have any official picks on Pac-12 yet. Luckily they're kind of, they're on the West Coast. They usually start a little bit later. Might be able to watch the day play out a little bit and make a decision on what I want to do with the Pac-12 later. I have some ideas of what I'd like to do. I've seen a lot of people going in on Oregon -11. I like that. I feel like Oregon is the Pac-12's big hope of any hope to get into the playoffs this year. So there might be a chance that teams just lay down and help Oregon get there. Stanford is supposedly very down this year, so -11. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'll look at it later today and maybe make a decision. What I'm heavily leaning towards with the Pac-12 is the overs. I saw some stats earlier this week that when the Big Ten's first week back, the SEC's first week back, both leagues were something like 4-2 or something crazy like that on overs hitting. And you saw that in the NFL too. The first couple weeks in the NFL, it was like 60% of overs were hitting. A lot of people have speculated that's because defenses aren't hitting much in practice. And so these first couple weeks when its league restarts, teams aren't used to tackling. They're a little shy of getting those hits in, and points are going to go up on the board. So I'm leaning like Pac-12 overs across the board. I might just bet them all because if they follow the trends of the others, they go 4-2. That's easy money. So leaning that. I'm going to look at that later today, but no official picks from the Pac-12 yet. What I do have for official picks, I'm going to go through those right now. I got 5. For starters, I'll tweet out anything that I add throughout the day, so make sure you're following me at Uncle_Mad, Uncle Mad. That's Uncle_Mad, 2 Ds. Here we go. First pick, SMU -17.5 against Houston. No idea why I took this. I have no logical reason to take this. I know nothing about SMU. I know nothing about Houston. Can't name anything about either one of those teams. Just some reason when I was looking at the bets, when I was looking at the games on the sports books, for some reason just SMU -17.5 just jumped out to me, just like there was like a beacon, like a red light going off. I don't know why. No logic to that one, so can't give you any reasons, can't give you anything on that, but I took SMU -17.5. So if you want to follow whatever weird instincts jumped into my brain on that one, feel free to do it. Next up, I've got Michigan -2.5 over Indiana. Michigan's weird. I don't think they're ever going to get over the hump and beat Ohio State unless they can get like some genius coach in. I think last week was kind of a blip. I think they got a little too ahead of themselves with the big win week 1. They thought Michigan State was more down than they were. Michigan State was probably more up for that game than Michigan was. Indiana, a lot of people are high on them, saying they could be a sleeper, but they probably got away with one against Penn State last week, and I don't know, until I see Indiana get a real win over something. I don't know if I can buy them. I feel like Michigan bounces back here. So I'm taking Michigan minus 2.5. Next pick, the world's largest cocktail party, Georgia. I've got Georgia minus 3 over Florida. I don't know why. You know, this one could go either way, honestly, but I'm just feeling Georgia. I feel like, you know, they got their loss out of the way against Alabama. Feel like this is one where they might come back and finally show themselves, because they got a chance. You know, they're going to play to get back into that SEC championship, to have a shot at the college football playoff. Florida, kind of a wonky game against Texas A&M that they lost. They're coming off COVID. You know, that whole situation when teams have come off COVID has been very bizarre. I think I got to go with Georgia here, just because I've seen more of them than I've seen of anybody else. So that's my pick, and this one is Georgia minus 3. But, you know, could go either way. That one is very bizarre, very hard to predict. Next up, this is, if I have a lock of the day, this would be it. This is kind of the one that I looked at and said was probably the most likely to have something crazy happen and good happen. That would be Cincinnati minus 13.5 over, my brain just died and I can't remember who they're playing, but that's that's the only play today that I put 2 units on. So if there was anything that I was going to consider a lock, it would be that. You'd think I would remember who they're playing if I'm going to make that a lock, but whatever. Cincinnati's been good. They've got an off, you know, chance of running the table and maybe being the Power 5 team this season. That sneaks into the New Year's 6 games. Last pick of my 5. Now, I've seen just about everybody go the opposite way on this one. I'm seeing everybody and their brother going for South Carolina. I'm going Texas A&M. I got it at minus 10. I feel like they've got an outside chance at a playoff spot. They've got to know that. They've got to play their best football throughout the rest of the season so they can get to the end with only 1 loss, being against Alabama, and not having to go to the SEC championship game and play Alabama again. This is what they brought Jimbo Fisher in for, with seasons like this. But, you know, to get that spot, they got to win out, and they got to make some convincing wins. So that's where we're standing there. Those are the picks for the day. Just reviewing: SMU minus 17.5. Michigan minus 2.5, Cincinnati minus 13.5, Georgia minus 3, and Texas A&M minus 10. Here's some details on what I've got going so far this season. I'm calling it the season since November 1st, since things went legal. This season, which started last Sunday. I'm 17-13 overall, and I'm plus 55 units. Now, that came because I've hit a few big money plays. Those are the ones that really got me up in the numbers on the units. So these kind of little 1-unit plays, maybe those are the ones to fade me on. If I bet more, if I'm looking at a big money play, maybe those are the ones to go on. Maybe follow me on those and not the others. I do have 2 other plays, and these are plays I would not have made under normal circumstances. These are almost like, I would almost call these stay away plays that I actually made. But they were offered up with some good boost, so I took them. That's been one of the cool things about the legalized sports betting, has been the boosts and the promos that the different books have been offered. So here's what I got. MGM, they offered a free $50 bet to me. I took it. And they also had a boosted odds parlay, moneyline parlay, for UCLA, Oregon, UT, and Clemson. Now, I would never take that parlay in a million years, other than the fact that it was boosted odds and a free $50 bet. Because like I said, I don't know anything about the Pac-12, don't know what it's going to be like this season. UT, if you followed any of my previous videos about my picks, I don't bet them usually, because I don't bet teams that are my rivals, because they just find ways to piss me off more than ever. Clemson, I still think they're going to beat Notre Dame even without Trevor Lawrence, but that's just such a big kind of mystery game that I'm staying away from it in general. But it was a part of this, so I took it. Those odds got boosted up to plus 420, so if that hits, it's going to be pretty nice. That's on BetMGM if you're looking for that one. All right, and the other one that I took today, DraftKings. This one's kind of crazy. This is the Kevin Malone special from The Office. You could get 100-to-1 odds on the UT-Arkansas game. Now, when I took this, I thought it was only if you took Tennessee, but I kind of looked back at it, and I think you can actually take Tennessee or Arkansas on this one. So 100-to-1 odds. The max bet you can bet is only $1, though, but that's $1 to win $100. So you basically look at it, say, who do you think's going to win, UT or Arkansas? Bet $1. If you get it right, you get $100. Like I said, I don't like to bet UT. They're one of my stay away teams for all times because they always screw me over. but the chance to bet $1 to win 100, I couldn't pass that up. So I took UT money line there. They'll probably screw me over somehow, which won't be too bad, because like I said, it's kind of the same thing as the Chelsea bet. I bet $1, so I'm not out that much money, and if UT loses, great. UT sucks. I hate UT. That's all I got for you today. Like I said, if I add anything throughout the day, I will tweet it out at Uncle Mad on Twitter. That's at Uncle_Mad, so follow me there. Excited for a beautiful day of soccer, fun day of college football. Follow along with us.